All right, we have Amanda Love with us, candidate for Secretary of State. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us. We appreciate you filling out that questionnaire and interviewing with us this evening. And we're looking forward to publishing all the questionnaires and answers by the candidates in our interview videos tonight to the Michigan GOP, the district and county GOP, so that we can get the word out and help our delegates be really informed for that March convention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with
That was
that
a
being said,
comprehensive survey too. I liked that.
yeah, that was the goal. So
Yeah.
with that said, could you introduce yourself to us? Tell us how the Secretary of State race is going so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Amanda Love. Am I'm from Washtenaw County. I'm from Saline. Jason knows that. I live in Oakland County now, and I really didn't grow up in a political family. But when I went to college, I went to Western, and I really saw the kind of indoctrination that was occurring as far as one-sided arguments by the professors. And when I kind of initially went to college, I thought I was more of a Democrat just because that was kind of the cool thing to do. But the more and more I saw things, I realized I was actually a very strong conservative. So I got my first job in politics in college. I ran a campaign for Jack Hogendijk, who's since left the state. And then after, so actually, fun story, I did have kind of a group of us in college. So I ran for student body president, and my campaign manager was the college Republicans president chair, who is Speaker Matt Hall. So he actually ran my campaign for student body government back then. And then my chief justice, after I won, my chief justice of the court was Representative Tom Barrett. So, and there's a couple more names that have kind of come from this Western Michigan group back in the early 2000s that were still around today. And after that, I did start working under the Secretary of State at the time. And so I really got to see firsthand what being a Secretary of State was, what the day-to-day operations were, because I saw it. I sat in on all the meetings. I drove to all the clerk's offices, the branch offices. There was a national clerks convention that I helped run one of the years. So I've really gotten to see a very unique perspective that no other candidate in this race can even compare to. And then I moved on to the Attorney General's office after that. Most people know there is an elections division there. And so I got to see kind of the legal end of things. And then I moved on to various roles through the legislature. So I graduated with a degree in public policy. So then I've since written public policy, written laws, and had other various roles within the legislature. So I do think I have a unique experience skill set on the official side. I also run campaigns too. So I've run them for over 20 years now, and I've really seen them from the inside out. And I did run my own race too. I'm a current sitting member on the Clarkston School Board, and I beat out the vice president. He was the incumbent vice president, and I beat him out on a very strong anti-CRT platform, and kind of took the community by storm because I was getting attacked left and right. They were calling me racist and everything. My family's house got vandalized. Yard signs were getting torn up, and it was a very contentious race, but ultimately prevailed. But all that to say, in all my experience running campaigns, and I've never lost a race, I definitely have a winning spirit. My God-given gift in life is definitely knowing how to assess situations and campaigns and running numbers. So when I did run numbers, I did catch a lot of anomalies, if you can imagine, through the years. Actually, dating back to 2017 was the first time that I really saw some potential ballot harvesting occurring. And so ever since then, I really took note of what was going on in our state, which leads me here because we need to fix it. We need to fix our election system. I've gotten a lot of Republicans elected that, quite frankly, have disappointed me. They didn't step up like I thought they should after 2020. And a lot of them go along to get along. And I was done with that. And I said, there's no one better suited resume wise to run for Secretary of State. There's no one that has the grit and the follow through that I do. I'm not afraid to back down. I'm going to get it. And I really have the experience too to know how to get things done. A lot of the changes I want to make will require some either attorney general partnerships or legislative changes. And so I know the right avenues to take. I know how to get bills passed. I know how to write bills. I know those types of things. So I'm not going to need any sort of on the job training. So it's kind of my pitch to everybody is if you want somebody who's going to get things done, be a conservative, fix our election system, but also have experience, then I'm your person.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm starting the interviews all kind of the same way. And so the first question I have for you tonight is that if you win the nomination by the delegates on the 28th, March 28th, what is the SOS race going to look like against your Democrat or even independent challengers? What'll it look like between March 28th and November?
It's going to be a very unique year because typically, and you guys probably know this, but so nationally, it's going to be a tough year for Republicans. But within the state of Michigan, we like to switch. We like to switch between a Democrat and a Republican governor, if you historically looked at the data. So looking at that, you think that we would get a Republican in. And with the Secretary of State and Attorney General, a lot of times in the past, they have kind of dependent on the top of the ticket to kind of bring them up. And with Duggan on the ballot, it's going to put a huge wrench in that. But I think that actually benefits the Secretary of State races and Attorney General races more than people realize, because the Democrats often don't vote down ticket. So they're going to go in. A lot of them are going to be voting for Duggan because he's very popular on the east side of the state. Jason probably knows more than Joel because he hasn't spent a ton of money on the west side yet, but he's very popular on the east side. So I think he's going to take a lot of that support, and people aren't going to know, well, I can vote straight ticket, but because you can vote straight ticket and then vote for some other party, and the machine is supposed to override that. Well, people either don't know that, or they don't trust the machines, or they don't trust that it will actually do what it's supposed to do. So I think that there's going to be a drop off between some of those voters. There's going to be voters that just come in, vote for Duggan, and that's it. So most of them will vote for the U.S. senator, but even some won't even do that. So I think we have a unique opportunity there. But we really have common sense on our side with Secretary of State. People want fair elections. People saw what happened in 2020, and they know something was wrong. Most of them don't think that there's enough that we can overturn it, but they knew something was wrong. They also, the policies that we're going to be running on are just very common sense, and it's going to be very appealing to the young voters. So what my election looks like is after March, there's definitely going to be a lot of meetings as far as raising money, because most of the big donors are going to be staying out until after the convention. So we're going to be needing to raise a lot of money, but it's also going to be a huge messaging shift. And my strategy is, and I'm not going to give it all away, but we have some great ideas for strategy to engage the youth, and also to engage the Trump people who only come out for Trump. And I'm a very strong proponent, and I think I'm the only person in this race to have actually talked about my policy for illegal aliens. I could be wrong if somebody has since said something, but up till a couple of weeks ago, I'm the only one willing to talk about illegal immigration. And we need to, and I have a comprehensive plan to get driver's license for legal immigrants to be a different color so that they are easily turned away at the polling site. So we have a lot of good plans there that I think those are going to really resonate with those people that only come out for Trump. They don't want illegal immigration. And they're also getting upset that these CDL drivers that can't speak a lick of English are getting in accidents here in our state and across the country because they can't read road signs. So I think that a lot of my policies are going to really resonate with those low propensity. And when I say low propensity, meaning that they don't vote all the time, but they will come out to vote for Trump. I think we're going to engage them. I've got great plans to engage the youth, and I have great plans to engage the Christian community. I think a lot of times that they will sit more on the sidelines, and we've had an effort here in Oakland County to change that after that abhorrent, I think it was Prop 3, where they put the abortion. It was disgusting what they were what they did ultimately pass. That really activated a lot of the churches here. So we have a good network there already in place, and so we're going to re-engage them. There's a lot of ideas like that, but sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but
That's great. Thank you.
Those are a few of my plans for the general.
So on the opposite side of that, if you don't win the nomination, what are your next steps going to be?
Well, I'm going to put my full weight behind candidates that I do support and make sure that they win in the primary, because we really got to get some good America First candidates in, and we got to make sure that we get them in the primary. So I'm going to, so obviously convention races are, the nominating convention is a little different, but I'm really going to be focusing on getting Republicans elected, but also getting Republicans that are going to do something. And they're not going to be that Republican seat warmer. They're going to be Republicans who are going to get things done. So I'm going to really focus my efforts to get those, I call them America First, whatever you want to call them, conservative candidates through the finish line. That's going to be my priority through August. And then obviously after that, then getting our ticket to win against the Democrats in November.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. Getting into some issue questions. So MCL 168509R speaks to the maintenance of the qualified voter file, the QVF, as a shared responsibility between the SOS and local clerks. Will your SOS office give local clerks the capability to directly update the voter file, and what other steps would your SOS office take to ensure the voter file is current and accurate?
So the answer to the first question, yes. But I'll be honest with you. I kind of want to get rid of it altogether. It is such a mess, the qualified voter file that's in place right now. So we're looking into options on how to do that without making everybody re-register. I don't know if it's a possibility, but if we did have to work within the current qualified voter file that we have, yeah, we're going to put in some severe measures to clean it up. It is bad. It is very bad, and a lot of it's very easy. I believe our current Secretary of State has no interest in cleaning it up. I believe that benefits her, that it is the way that it is. But I mean, there's some very low hanging fruit that can be done on day one, which is anybody do a search by cell. Anybody born in the 1800s, I think that's a pretty fair assumption that we're going to be taking them off. Duplicates being a huge issue. There is a very simple fix for that. There's people that have very similar names, but something's a little bit different. Their address is different, whatever it may be. I do have, it's going to cost a little bit of money for this system that I've heard of, but we do have a place to get rid of duplicates, because from what I'm finding, there's more of an issue with duplicates than I've heard, like 1.7, 1.8 million duplicate people on there. So that's something easy to do. I did talk about the immigrants earlier. We're definitely going to be, if there's anybody illegal on the qualified voter file, which I there is, but there's not as much as legal immigrants. But we're definitely going to be taking them off, and we're going to be reporting them to the Department of Justice. We can definitely cross-reference, and that's easy to do. You cross-reference social security numbers with the QVF too to find these, and then after that, then we're going to have to look at some of these people who are. I think the hardest, I guess, is going to be people who are moved, and there's also a lot of dual registrants. So if you can be on the qualified voter file here, but you can be on one in another state. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of issues that we're going to have to comb through and fix, and we're going to have to let the. There's also the fact of death certificates. The Secretary of State is supposed to be working with the State Department. I think it's under the Michigan Health and Human Services. They're supposed to be working hand in hand on getting death certificates and taking them off the rolls. That's not occurring, so we're going to be doing that. But definitely working in partnership with our local clerks, township clerks, city clerks, village clerks. They know more than obviously, that I would, certainly with these people who have moved or people who have died. So we need to work hand in hand with them to clean it up.
That's great. Maybe a little bit of a controversial question, but are ballot drop boxes an inevitability? And if they are, what specific measures will you take to secure them? And if they're not, what specific steps will you take to remove them across the state? And would removing them place any extra burden on our local clerks?
So I want to remove them. I'm not going to promise that I have the jurisdiction to do that. There's been some conflicting opinions on that as far as is it constitutional? Do I need legislation to completely get rid of them? I want to get rid of them. But I do have a plan on my website too that they need to be they need to be surveilled 100% of the time, and that there needs to be only one person that can actually have the key to open. And obviously we just need to make sure that the chain of custody procedures are airtight with it, and they need to be so not only surveilled, but they need to be enforced. So if you see somebody on the camera that's stuffing in 10 ballots or something, it needs to be checked, like who. It needs to be the one person deemed. I could say it likely will be the clerk, but if there's an extenuating circumstance, whatever. But they need to be looking into that. And not exactly part of your question, but one of my plans is to be training our law enforcement in election law, so that if somebody does report, hey, this guy's been stuffing ballots, he's clearly filling them out right here and stuffing them in, stuff like that, we're going to have a tip line that people can call, and the Secretary of State's going to have educated attorneys in election law available to talk to and to work through these questions. But also my ultimate goal is to have an educated police force, county prosecutors, county sheriffs there, that if something like that is occurring at one of these drop boxes, that they can be called, and then they know what to do. They know the law, and they know what is permissible and what's not. So that's my plan.
Awesome.
So thanks, Amanda. With that being said, I think we're almost up against our time. So I just want to thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And in closing, can you tell the delegates what makes you the best Republican candidate for Secretary of State that they should vote for on March 28th? Maybe if you have something you haven't already told us, but
sure.
Your closing statement, please.
I tried to sneak in as much policy as I could, but no, I believe I'm the best candidate for the delegates and for the state, because I am a delegate. I've been a delegate my whole life. I am one of you. I'm not a career politician, yet I do have experience. I have been a candidate. I have won elections before, but I don't have any interest in higher office after this. I think I'd make an amazing Secretary of State. I think I'm going to get the job done, but I'm not going to be shackled by special interests or anything, because I don't want to run for higher office. I don't want to run for governor. So I don't really care if I upset some of these groups, these special interest groups. I know that my opponents do have higher aspirations, and that's fine. There's nothing against that. But I've seen through my experience that when you do, you often can get lost in looking towards the future and not making the correct decisions for the state and for the delegates at the time. So I think that's a great argument that I have working for me. I'm also an advocate for the delegates right now. I think I'm the only person that's been openly opposing some of the I support a delegate bill of rights. I think that's a great thing to have. I think that we should not have passed exactly what we have passed with the voting machines, using them at the convention. I was the only candidate to speak out against that. So I think I resonate with, now, of course, those are controversial topics, but I think that a majority of the delegates, now I won't say state committee, but I think a majority of the delegates feel the same way that I do. I feel a majority of the delegates, because I know I felt very unheard with the politicians, especially regarding election integrity. So I want to be a voice for you guys, and I can do it. I can win. I think there's a narrative going around that one of the candidates is more electable than I am, and I just fundamentally disagree. It's not true. We conservatives can win general elections. It can be done. I do it all the time. So we're going to win. So if you want somebody who's going to speak for you, who's going to fix things, and who's just going to, after they fix everything and everything's looking good, is just going to go back home to their kids and be happy that their kids have a great future and that their vote's going to count fairly, then elect me. That's kind of my plea is I'm just a very down-to-earth person. I listen. A lot of the ideas that I've gotten have been from delegates. I learn something new almost every single day when I've traveled the state talking to delegates. I want to be your voice. I love you guys. I love delegates. I love talking to delegates, and I'm genuine. I'm not super polished. I will give you that. My public speaking skills aren't the most rehearsed, but it's because it's coming from the heart. And I don't sit in front of a mirror and gesture and this, but I'm talking to you as a real person. I'm talking to you because I am one of you. And I think that's really coming off. I think that the general population, too, is tired of empty campaign promises, polished politicians who just tell you what you want to hear. That's not me. But if you want something done, you want serious change, and you want to continue winning elections for Republicans, please vote for me on March 28th.
All right. Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda.